I'll be up in time. I mean, not to mention I'm finna go. I'm just going somewhere where I'm gonna lay down. So, oh, I had to go down there just to do this. Okay. I still hear it. I just don't know where it's at.
It's over there.
You know what? You're probably right.
Come on, Kratos,
All right.
indeed.
So yeah, I said I had something else to talk about like last episode. So I didn't because I forgot. So the whole
The story.
Yeah, like the whole like why don't I talk to what's her face anymore? The answer to that is the best way to put it is like I kind of got to this point where I didn't get to a point where anything specific happened. You could say I got rejected in a specific kind of way that made me feel like I needed to like wise up and let it go. But that wouldn't be like the complete truth either. The complete truth would be that I had two specific friends explain to me that I was allowing somebody to treat me a way that most people don't get treated, and that I should probably get my shit the fuck together. And and in that, what that means is, so when I was in the hospital, I was doing pretty good. Like meaning, like I didn't feel bad to the point where I couldn't talk or anything like that. It was like the first day I was there, I was okay. By the first day I was there, I was able to talk. I was able to talk, and like the reality is like it got real goddamn boring, just kind of being there by myself all the time. So the quote unquote ex-wife, like we got to a point where like I was like, yeah, you can call me, like I'm fine, like you know we can talk or whatever. We can talk or whatever, like I'm a fucking 17-year-old white girl. We can talk. The first night, I am bleeding. The first night,
Well, that ain't good.
I don't know, it ain't. The first night I was there, I'm finding out like, you know, I'm respiratory failure, fucking respiratory failure, renal failure, like I'm doing bad, like fluid overload, can't fucking breathe, like I'm like on a fuckload of oxygen, you know, shit like that. Like,
That ain't happening.
I'm doing all these bad things
I do not want
that
you
happened
to
to
feel
a motherfucker.
alone, but your decision to go to Asgard helps me understand.
Odin doesn't want Ragnarok. I know I can't trust him, but I needed his help. I can't let Ragnarok happen either.
I would have helped you.
No. Wait, he's right here.
Shit.
Okay, okay.
Oh shit.
I get the feeling we're not gonna have to fight this thing.
It's all right. Just calm.
Just gotta calm it the fuck down.
Calm. We just
Well, that's what you hope.
It's very upset is the problem. Like it's clearly like mad. But I mean, if you were chained up for God knows how long, you'd probably be in a bad mood too. But yeah. So first night I'm in the hospital, and the first night me and her like spend time on the phone. The only way I can word this is I end up having to like console her because she's disappointed and like sad about the way her relationship with her brother is. And like she's like, why don't people like me? And I find that funny now, like in retrospect. Like a moment like this, where you're complaining to somebody in the hospital who, you know, could have fucking died. You're complaining that people don't like you and you don't get why. Irony, right? Like, is that irony? I think that's irony.
A little bit. More or less like you have no self-awareness.
And so I spent a good amount of time on the phone, more or less, like trying to convince her, like, hey, you don't need these people to fucking like, what's the word? Like you don't need their approval.
Approval.
Like you don't need it. You don't need them to validate who you are. Like you're an okay person. Like if they don't like you, then that's on them or whatever. Which none of this meant any goddamn thing. Like this is effectively somebody simply saying, these people don't like me, but I want them to. Period. It's not I want to not. It wasn't even like she wasn't even saying like she wanted to like grow emotionally to the point where she didn't need the validation of people who didn't like her. It was just straight up, I want the thing.
Then we are in agreement.
Give me the thing.
Then what's that spear for?
To protect you.
Again, usually it's a lie.
Ooh. Said it again.
It was one of those situations where it was like, I don't really want a solution, I just want to complain.
Yeah, like that's who she was in a nutshell. Who she was, who she is, who she'll likely forever be in a fucking nutshell.
What are these guys doing here?
They are dead.
Oh, yeah. Fair point.
It was like that in reality, she, and I don't necessarily think that like what it was like she didn't want solutions. I think more importantly, she didn't give a fuck about my solution. Like I could eat a dick and die, and I was real close to it.
Well, I imagine most of your solutions required her to get over her feelings about people.
Well, most of my solutions were like, let me help you feel better through the power of love. But the problem with that was it was my love. And I could, as I said before, go fuck myself because that wasn't the point.
Did she want to fuck her brother?
I'm almost positive she did. And if I've learned anything from Simon Whistler, it's don't say shit that might get you sued. So that's all I can say. I cannot say what did or did not allegedly happen between the two of them. And that is me being as that's like the last little shred of like affection I have for her, like coming through. Because otherwise, because don't get it twisted, I'll tell you off camera.
I know. You just don't want everyone else to know.
No, I don't want the opportunity. No, I don't give a fuck about anybody else finding out. I don't want the possibility of her coming across it and like me getting in trouble, me getting in legal trouble. Oh, we're gonna have to like cut this episode off because you said it like. Because I don't know if you remember this, but like I had this video of Philip. I had this video of Philip. Like,
on his hands and knees.
Yeah, you remember the Memoirs of Amisha? Yeah, like that video is no longer like on YouTube. I don't know what exactly about that video was so bad that like they deleted it from my like I don't have it. Like it's not in my YouTube account anymore. It's not. I can't download it. I can't anything. It's gone. I don't care. But like that's the kind of repercussions I'm not trying to, you know, have to go toe to toe.
Garner,
yeah.
Seriously, buy the spear. I shared. It's your turn.
We are not the same. I am the parent.
You're ducking the question.
The giant would not.
Wow, Kratos legitimately referred to himself as a parent.
Can't believe we missed this.
Guess sigil arrows don't work on that. my arrows will stick to the wood up there.
I keep forgetting to equip things.
My favorite part of that is that it fucking it did that like almost as soon as I threw the fucking axe. Like as soon as I threw the axe.
Maybe multiple sigils will reach you. Go.
So I don't have to frost the axe first. Good to fucking know. But yeah, like that first night, you know, I spent time trying to make her feel better, and the shitty part about that is like as I remember, as I'm like remembering back to that moment, was that like because I couldn't stay on the phone, like I couldn't sleep, because the issue was because I was dealing with respiratory issues. So respiratory therapists, like when I was ready to go to bed, they would come in at night and be like, "Yo, we got to put you on the BiPAP." Like it's I think a breathing machine. And one, I wasn't 100% sure she'd be able to hear me with it on anyway because it was going over my nose, like it was going over my nose and mouth. So I wasn't sure she's gonna be able to hear me. So I was like, you know, I might as well have to get off the phone. And I don't want them to I don't want to keep them waiting because that's who we are. We are the anxiety generation. And I didn't want them to be like, let's fucking go, dude. Like I didn't want.
You won't kill him, okay?
I make no promises, but I will try not to kill
Which I
these.
feel is fair.
And so I didn't want to keep them waiting. Give me. There we go. So I was like, it was it was very much this moment of like, hey, like because at this moment I'm still like very much in love with this insane bitch, and I'm on some like, yo, I gotta go, blah 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 blah, and she's fucking sad. You can like, it's not like she's not have like, it's not a conversation. You know what I mean? It's not like a normal conversation. Like she's very much like, well, I guess I should go fuck myself because then like no one cares about how I feel or whatever. And it's like, and like at the moment, I want to just point out like I just wanted like everybody to understand like I didn't realize the flaw in what was going on, but I'm gonna get there in a second. So I'm on some like, look, I gotta go. Like I'm talking soft and everything, and the respiratory therapist is in the fucking room, and I realize now I made a complete loose knuckle of myself because it's completely possible he realized what the other two people realized, and I'm getting there in a second. And I didn't get it at the moment, and he might have been like, "Are you fucking serious? Like, do better." But it didn't cross my mind, and I honestly told. So where this ends up going is there like what ended up happening was I like me and her were like, we were still like cool for like a hot little second, but like after I got home and I started like doing dialysis, I had a wild idea of like, I wonder if you can do dialysis at home. Like that was my thought. Like I was like, could you do dialysis at home? Like I don't want to go that way then. Like that was my thought. I was just curious. It was like, can you? Because I'd imagine like there's got to be rich people who like, you know, have to do dialysis and they don't want to go to a clinic and this, that, and the third. Like, can you buy your own machine? How much does this shit cost? And in the process, I found out you can do in-home dialysis. I was like, wait, what the fuck? So I was like, oh, cool then, fuck it. Like, let's do that then. And so I ended up going to this little, I wouldn't call it a seminar, but it's a seminar. It's a little meeting where she explains the difference between peritoneal dialysis and hemodialysis. And they're like, which one do you want to do? And I'm like, I'd like to keep doing hemodialysis at home. That was before I found out that this is the worst thing that you could ever do for your body. If you are listening to this and you have renal failure and you are doing dialysis, ask them if you can do in-home dialysis. Ask them if you can switch over to peritoneal dialysis, because for fuck's sake, hemodialysis, your body hates it.
sort of
it hurts
making
you,
it up as I go.
and
Like,
it's
you're not
it's
talking
just
about
dumb.
harm.
It's incredibly
Not
dumb.
smart, Odin.
Like there's a
It's worked
much
so far.
easier way to do it. We're about to get hurt. Hold on. But in the process of all of that, like basically what ends up happening is I
I'm
learned
gonna
that
try to tame it.
the only way they're gonna let me do
I've tamed wolves.
hemodialysis, for those wondering, hemo is the thing that you see on TV. It's where they pull your blood out of your body, clean it, and put it back in. And for what it's worth, your body hates it. Like your body 100% does not like it. It hurts the body, like it destroys what function your kidneys may or may not have left. Well, obviously if it doesn't have any, but if your kidneys have any function whatsoever left in them, your body hates it. It will go away. And I only found it interesting that when I was in the hospital, they at no point asked, like they didn't mention any of this. They did none of that. But it was funny that when I asked the my hold on, can't remember the name of the fucking doctor, my nephrologist, about doing in-home dialysis, he was like, oh yeah, like I have several patients who do PD, and it's like, you know, it's like they're doing really good on it, and it's really good for you. Like your body responds a lot better to it, which is just a question that I just don't want to fucking stand. It's like, if that's the case, why am I here? You twat. Like, there's literally a better option available from the outset. And it wasn't the one we went with first.
Why wouldn't we go with that one first?
I'll distract
You
Arm.
fucking
Freeze his
dick.
tank with your axe so we can't run in it. Latch him onto something.
No, too dangerous.
It's a good plan. Let's move.
Wait.
And so when I got out, like I like that so like that conversation happened, and it was very much a like for us to do this, like for us to do this, you're gonna need a partner. Like you're gonna need somebody in your house to help you do this in case, you know, like your blood pressure drops or whatever. Basically, you need somebody to watch you for the 4 hours that you're gonna be on dialysis. And it was in that moment where I'm like, you know, you're clearly unhappy in like, you know, your house and like the way your family is treating you. You're incredibly unhappy. I 100% need a partner in life. And like you could tell that she was like,
Next time.
it wasn't something she wanted. And I'm not even saying that it should have been. I am just saying like it was the best of a bad situation. And it's like, you want somebody to love you, nigga. Here I am. That's how like dead ass serious I am about this whole thing. I used the forbidden word. And it was very much this like, for the umpteenth time I've told you like I don't want to be like a girlfriend right now, which I know is a fucking lie. She doesn't want to be mine, and I don't know why. I've never understood why she fucking say that. Like the idea of like, if you're gonna shoot somebody down, whether it's personal, whether it's personal or not, irrelevant. If you tell somebody like I'm not looking for a relationship, you can just be honest and say like I don't want a relationship with you. They don't care. Like it doesn't hurt less if you say you don't want to date, you know, anybody, because the best way to put this is everyone knows that I don't want to be with anybody right now is a fucking lie. If the right somebody came along, you would be with them in a heartbeat. It's the person that's asking, and you're like, nah, I don't want to be with you. Just fucking say that. Like, you're not a better person because you didn't shoot them in the face.
Does not trust.
It's like, if you shoot me, you know, at all,
I thought it would work.
fucking make it a clean shot.
We will
Like, put me down easy. Don't, like, make me, like,
Yeah, don't bleed me out.
slowly.
It's like, well, I gave you time with, like, your family. I let you say final words. It's like, fuck off, you cunt. So, that's really what it was. And, like, I remember the phone call that we were having in that moment. And it was just like, for her, it was like walking to the drugstore. Like it
How?
meant nothing.
There is always
And she like kept talking and everything, and like I could tell that she like probably could feel, she could tell the vibe had shifted, and that I was a little bit tilted. I wasn't mad, but I was definitely in a situation where I was at a point where I was doing some heavy thinking, and I think I sat on the phone for like another 15 minutes, like in complete silence. Like I sat there in complete fucking silence. And then eventually, I just fucking hung up. Like, I hung the phone.
Which is completely fair.
Yeah, I just hung up. And she didn't bother calling me back because she might be a retard, but she's not fucking stupid. She completely understood why I hung up, and she knew that there was no like real point in trying to call me back. But more importantly, I know that the reality is, she felt like she was in the clear, like she felt good about herself. She felt like that she was right. Like she was like, I don't have to explain myself about anything. I was right. Like if I don't want this thing, I don't have to have this thing. It's like, yeah, you're right. You are completely fucking goddamn right. If you don't want a thing, you shouldn't have to let anybody like talk you into being in a relationship you don't want. Even if they're like, hey, I'll completely put up with your garbage and your shit family and help you raise a kid that you had by a motherfucker who doesn't like you. I will put your shit out there, like regardless of how much I don't want to.
My general thing is, I normally do like have this thing about like, yeah, like because you're nice to someone, you don't have like the right to expect anything in return, but you in turn do not get the right to expect like
anything.
You don't get to expect like the boyfriend experience if you don't want a boyfriend.
Right. But that's
like
what
you don't get to become a genie with all of the things that come with it.
Oh man, you gotta get the fucking lamp. Get them itty bitty living spaces. Better know it. Bitch better know it. But like that's what it like turned into. And that's what it was. Like I was definitely the boyfriend like without the perks. You know, which again made me I was the fool. And I was cool with it for like a real long time. Like I was super duper cool with it. I didn't like have any qualms. But there was that moment, and I just for like for a good little bit, I just didn't message her. I didn't talk. I think she messaged me a few times, and she called me once, and I answered the phone. And then when she answered the phone, I just I didn't say anything. Like it wasn't a conversation. I just kind of. And then like the call disconnected and she didn't call back and neither did I. I didn't see a point in it. It felt pointless. And then time went by. But here's where like I felt the biggest fool. Jordan and Ayana. Ayana is like somebody, oh my gosh, I have to fight it. I don't know how to fight it. All right, because we're at 23 minutes and now I'm gonna spend forever trying to fight this thing. We'll make it an episode the next episode. So, which is the last episode for the night for me. So what ended up happening was I got out the hospital and I had like decided to reach out to Ayana and like have, just catch up because it had been a minute because I'd been putting all my effort into the wrong pot. And I was like, what's going on? She was like, nothing, just having a mental breakdown.
As you do.
Yeah, and she was like, and I was like, you want to talk about it? And she's like, no, that doesn't feel right. And I was like, I don't know what you mean. She's like, well, like, everything you just went through, it doesn't feel right complaining about my life to you right now. And I was like, I don't mind. And she's like, I know you don't, but I do. And it was in that moment I was like, oh, shit. That's how real
This is
people
what it's
act.
supposed to be.
That's how real people are. Holy fuck. I was like, real people don't bitch and complain to people in the hospital. Oh my fuck. I'm an idiot. And it was in that moment I was like,
This isn't even like the gourmet shit. This is just the normal
like
standard.
this is dollar store shit. This is off-brand shit. It's like, this is like Clover Valley water. It's still water. It's just water.
You're just used to like muddy creek water.
It was like, I thought all water had this, I thought it all had silt in it. Oh my God, no. What's happening?
I thought it all came out like rusty red.
Yeah, and like the fucked up part was like I had to admit that like I was like, had you not said anything, had you never said anything, I would have never figured it out. Ever.
It's just the secrets of the universe were revealed to you that day.
And then I had a conversation with Jay, and you know he ain't gonna mince no words in the slightest. And he was like, "Yeah, she fucking sucks." He was like, "The sad part about it is like, he's like nobody wants her but you." And the shitty part about that is he's kind of fucking right. When it comes to like wanting someone, like that's why I put this, like the difference between somebody being willing to be your friend because you have a car versus someone being willing to be your friend because you're cool to hang out with and you make them feel nice. That's the difference. It's like, no, like dudes would totally talk to her. She had a big butt, not like a pretty butt, but it was big. And like, yeah, but they didn't want to be with her. Her track record says so. Like, she was gonna get married and everything. That dude didn't even like her. The sad part is I can't get sued for that because it fucking happened. I mean, I can't prove that he didn't like her. I can't prove it. But his actions after they split up kind of was like, no, I don't really fucking like you. It was like we were in a situation and I just didn't leave it. And there did come a point where I was like, yo, like if you want to like talk this out, like, you know, like adults, like I'm cool with this shit. Like we can discuss it. Like we can have a conversation. And she was like, there's no need. Like I understand everything. Like I'm paraphrasing, but it's like I understand exactly why you did what you did. A dirk, because I had to do something to make her sound stupid.
No,
Like,
she did that all by herself.
Mark. One of the last things that was said, I asked her was, do you remember the conversation we had the very first night we spoke while I was in the hospital? And she was like, no. She's like, why? I was like,
Who is this dude?
what?
Who is Olaf Knudsen?
You're fighting him in a place I didn't fight him.
I'm guessing this is just like the final boss after you beat all the
Yeah,
camp.
I'm guessing like depending on like in which order you fight them. So this was the dude that glitched for me. Like I beat him as he killed me, and then the game didn't know what to do. Like it was like because it reloaded the checkpoint, but he was already dead, so it didn't load him back in. But the mission couldn't complete, like the quest line couldn't complete because he wasn't there for me to kill him. But yeah, it was like I explained to her, like it was about this. It was this, and then she said something like really snarky, as like on some aren't you just like the worst or whatever, you know, some shit like that. And then like I said something else, but then I was what I said was completely unimportant because at that point I had been blocked. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, that's about right. I was like, you would block, like you blocking me is hilarious. Cause like the shitty part is like I wasn't saying anything necessarily rude. I was just reminding you of like, you know, you were a shitty person. Like in that moment, like I was in the hospital fucking dying, you know, and dying, motherfucker, dying. Cause I hadn't even started the dialysis yet. Like so at that point I was still dying because my fucking kidneys weren't working. Was like you were there.
You know, the sad fucked up thing is, if you had died, she still would have made it about her somehow.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure like she would have found a way to like explain to people like this person who was like my best friend, quote unquote, like, you know, I don't have them in my life anymore. And like the sad part about this is you did really well on that. The sad part about this is the reality is she was a shitty friend. That is to say she wasn't a friend. She was somebody who has lived her entire life. This is why I was so comfortable saying what I said about what's her face. Because I feel like she's somebody who's lived her entire life feeling like she's never gotten what she feels she deserves. So at this point, it's okay for her to just take it from anybody that will allow her to take it. And honestly, like I told Jordan on multiple occasions that the reason like I can't blah blah blah, like why I couldn't, you know, stand up and fight back or whatever was because like or why I couldn't say certain things that needed to clearly be said was because, quote unquote, like, well, you're like, you understand like my background and what I've been through and all these things, so you should be more understanding. Basically, like, if I'm unhappy with the way I'm being treated, I should be like, oh, well, she's been through stuff, so it's okay. Like, that's what it was. It's like this shit human being thought it was okay to be a shit human being because, much like every other human, life hasn't gone exactly the way she wanted it. I was fucking dying.
Aw,
I was dying. Right? Yeah, that's a trophy pop for this. You are
good boy.
good. They're girls.
Good girls.
Good girls. How have you never pet your wolves? That's it. How? I don't even like dogs. And if a dog is like gentle
Especially with the
enough,
way Atreus is,
well, that might be
like,
why then.
because Atreus gives them all the affection they guess
Yeah,
they
that they need. Yeah, so he doesn't have to. Oh, okay. So that's the end of this.
Besties.
That is effectively the end of this. That happened over a month ago. Like, I got out of the hospital like a month and a half ago, like closer to 3 months at this point. And yeah, the friend relationship didn't last much longer after that because I woke up. It is not to say that like I don't think about the bitch. Think about her like at least like
Oops.
I think about her like often, but you know, it's embarrassing to say the very least because at the end of the day, like she wasn't real. She didn't truly exist. She was a figment of my imagination. That is to say, because like she ain't ever been in my motherfucking house. What are you trying to do?
It won't let me walk through that
Yeah,
area.
because you're not supposed to. Like, there's nothing over there. You're wanting to do something you don't need to do.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, there's space here. Why can't I walk there?
There's nothing else there. That's because it's not really space. It's a flat wall with a 3D element on it. But yeah, that was it. So I didn't just shit on his past relationships because I could. I did it because I understood. If that makes any sense. So, Mark, final words.
Just understand that you're not alone.
No, you're not. Yeah, Michael Jackson. All right, get out.